Still be cruising when the sun goes down.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this very special three-part podcast merged into one. If you want more context as to exactly what we're talking about, there are two things you're going to want to check out. First, search on YouTube, Slam and Jam CAW. That's Wade Needham's full-on CAW promotion that he's ran for a number of years. Definitely go check out that content and give him some love over there. And also, check out the No DQ CAW Vault channel, where you will find all No DQ CAW related content. You could also follow Wade at Ring Scoops on Twitter and on YouTube, and follow his assorted links on link.tree. Thank you very much again for Wade Needham, the man, the myth, the legend, for being a part of this podcast special. We're back, baby.
What happens when a man with ADHD
and a man with full-blown autism start a wrestling podcast?
Insanity Works Studios
and J. Hebert Studios
proudly present Wrestling with Idiocy.
The storm has passed. The cheerful sounds of birds chirping and pecking on trees fills the evening air as the sun slowly sinks behind the horizon. And in its fading light, we find two morons who are still just as big idiots as they have ever been.
And the birds are really pissing me off. Go away, birds! Get away from my nut tree!
Oh God, I'm glad you came in with that when you did. I was starting to lose the plot on that intro. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the newest episode of Wrestling with Idiocy. I'm Fat Fuck Number One, the Wrestling Encyclopedia, Casey Gallagher.
Nice. And I forgot that was even our introduction, to be honest. We probably should have came up with something different considering it. I'm Fat Fuck Number Two, James Hebert. Hi. Oops.
Oops.
We're a little bit not prepared because we have not done this in a bit. But
yeah, we're a little bit rusty on this.
And we're not alone, by the way.
We are actually not alone for once. We got a very special guest. Unfortunately, he's only around for a half hour, so this is going to be a little bit of a short part. But we have one of the founding members, if I'm not much mistaken, of the original No DQ CAW himself. The legendary Wade Needham has kindly agreed to join us today. Wade, welcome. How are you, good sir?
Kind of agreed. He's here.
Yeah, Fat Fuck Number 3 here.
And I said kindly, James. So
that's fair. That's fair. How you doing, Wade?
I'm doing pretty good. Better than a guy that I know in Brooklyn right now, but I'm doing all right. How you guys doing?
We're doing pretty good. It's good to finally be able to actually talk with you person to person, because this is going to be a very interesting podcast, I would say.
I've been looking forward to this.
Hey! It makes me feel pretty good.
and we've been looking forward to this as well. I've actually been looking forward to this so much that I came up with 15 friggin' questions to ask the both of you.
But we're going to have to do them in parts if we're going to have them all. Because, there you go.
As we already said, Wade can't be around for too long. But we'll find another day that is available, and we'll continue this, obviously.
Yes.
I'll try to give you guys as much time as I possibly can today.
All right.
Fair enough.
That's more than fair.
If you want to explain why it may be short, Wade, because, again, I'm not looking to, keep you for longer than you need to. If you're comfortable with it, I'm totally okay.
It just, lately I've been kind of dealing with some health issues, some stuff I have to take care of. So I'm just trying to
all right. Things. That's absolutely fair. That is absolutely fair.
We are going to try to make this as short as possible, and knowing if you guys known us for a long period of time,
we are not very good at that.
So we're gonna try to be. We're gonna try to be for Wade today, because I love Wade, and I don't want to keep him too.
Hey, if anything anybody knows about is coming up short on the stick, it's a fat fuck over there. He gets told by all the ladies that he's pretty short.
Oh, God damn it, Bobby. Why are you here?
Because it's a package deal. You get Robert J. Spade, you get the fat webmaster over there with the turkey sandwiches and the mustard and the tomatoes and everything.
That's a nice fucking cornfield.
Yeah, there's a story behind that, Wade. That cornfield bit, I'll tell you in a bit after we're off air. Because Mike did a whole character based on Bobby Spade. But actually, question, Bobby. Do you have like an illegitimate child?
You know what? It's an interesting question. Illegitimate or legitimate? It's to be or not to be. That is the question.
Well, I think we know who he is. We'll talk about that off air. Anyway,
Yeah, right? Anyways, so, all right. So, obviously, I'm going to be the interviewer here because I've got two CAW creators here with me. So, this is going to be a little bit of a different format for this particular episode of Wrestling with Idiocy. We'll probably end up editing the next part that we do into this, and it'll be one massive video.
Probably, yeah. Knowing us, yeah, that's how we usually do things because, you know, this is pre-recorded, you see. And luckily, it's not about anything current. It's just us talking about our past, pretty much.
Yeah.
So.
Just you two waffling, which is probably par for the course for both of you.
With that
Love
being
living
said,
in the past.
Yep.
Trust me. I feel that, especially with this freaking last year. Christ.
Exactly. All right. So let's get started here. First question for both of you. What drew you to pro wrestling initially, and how did you become a fan? James, we'll start with you because you've already told this story, and you can speed run it so we can get to Wade.
All right, yeah, fair. I was a young 3-year-old kid, saw Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Vince McMahon screwed him, somehow became fan, and broke me out of my autistic shell, and now I'm the fat fuck number 2 that you see here today. There you go. Story over. There you go.
And you thought I was joking, Wade.
I'm not even kidding, Wade. That's how I got into the industry. I got into the industry at like the highest point.
All right, Wade, we'll turn to you. What drew you in, and how did you get to be a fan?
Very similar story, actually. I was 3 as well.
Starting them young.
Hey, there we go.
I was about 3.
Oh my God!
4.
Hold on, Mike. What are you doing in here? I'm doing a show.
Oh, my bad.
We got Wade Needham on. If you want to say hi.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, hi. Never mind. Thought it was a different thing. My bad.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll tell you about how it goes after.
All right. Well, fuck it. Have fun. Whatever.
All right, bye.
I don't think we'll even edit that out. That was a good comedy bit.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, go. Sorry,
that was awesome. You know what? It's funny because that happened to me a while back when I was doing a podcast recording, and we forgot to go into the private channel on my Discord server, and a couple people jumped in, and we were like, "Oh, hey, the more the merrier, I guess."
Yeah, fair enough.
And so you just rolled with it?
Yeah, we just rolled with it. It was.
I should have just had him stay in. Honestly, Casey, if you want, you can tell Mike he can be in if he wants to be.
He's probably in the middle of playing Wildlands right now, so probably not.
Fair enough. Wade, as you were, my sincerest apologies.
Hey, it's all good, man. That's all good. You got to remember, I come from a live environment, so anything that happens, and anything that does happen is supposed to happen. This is my thought process.
Wait a minute, did I just mean to say that? I don't think you did, but be that as it may, we're live here.
Don't ask, don't tell. No, my story about getting into wrestling is about similar. I was about 3 years old, maybe 4. I can't remember exactly. It was around that time. But my Uncle George had been babysitting me, and he had Saturday night's main event on, and I was just captivated. I can't even remember what the match was, but the very first match that I do remember vividly was Macho Man Randy Savage and Zeus versus Hulk Hogan and Brutus Beefcake.
Classic.
What a friggin' tag team.
Right?
Absolutely.
Man, dude, I'll tell you, when I was a kid, when No Holds Barred came out, Zeus scared the shit out of me, dude.
As he would anyone that was a kid around that time.
Bro, he scares me as an adult, never mind a fucking child.
Yeah, those crazy eyes that he had, you know?
Yeah.
But
I'm surprised he never showed up in No DQ. I'm appalled at like.
yeah, I know, right? That would have been an iconic character to use in No DQ during the heyday of CAW. I used him in Slam Jam 2 years ago, leading up to my CAW stock, which is my WrestleMania. I had it was Zeus versus a mystery opponent, and it turned out to be Rip. Yeah, and I had Rip come out, so I had the no holds barred match.
Hey, Zeus and Rip. There you go. Good stuff. Good stuff.
That's good shit. That's really good shit.
Speaking of good shit, what's your next question? Hit us, Case.
All right. So for those of you who don't, for those watching who don't already know, all two of you that don't already know the answer to this, what exactly is CAW? How would each of you define it? Wade, we'll start with you.
Oh wow, how would I define CAW? I would define it as create a rest. No, that's the definition. CAW. It's I think all wrestling fans growing up have gone through this one phase, whether it be with action figures or e-feds, depending on what generation you grew up. But you like to play Booker. You run a character if you're an e-fed. If you're action figures, you're the ultimate Booker. You got the action figures. You have these larger than life characters battle it out and whatnot. And when technology met up with that kind of creativity, being able to record creations off of a video game, I think it was just a natural, evolution from action figures to e-feds to you can now showcase your creativity through animation on a video game.
I specifically remember, James, before you answer, I specifically remember that happened to me while I was first playing WWF Warzone. If any of you remember that travesty on the N64.
God,
love that game.
That's a great game. It's jank as hell, but it's still freaking classic.
Funny story about the game, real quick.
The creation suite is still top notch for its era.
That is very true.
It was one of the first games, if I'm not mistaken, to have a creative character.
I believe it was. You're correct.
And it was cool because they had a win-loss record thing. If you went down to like the very bottom of the basement, you could see the win-loss records for your CAWs. I made a Goldberg CAW that summer, and I got them all the way up to like 198-0. And I was playing with one of my friends in school, and he got pissed off at me, grabbed my controller and chucked it across the room, and then pinned the dude. I had to delete the CAW, make him again, and get him all the way back up to 198-0. It just pissed me off.
What a jack off. Really?
Yeah.
What a jackass. Come on, man. That's pain. Because, right, this isn't like the same thing, but ironically, to kind of hype myself up to do this podcast, I was playing WrestleMania 19 on an emulator, and I was like kind of going through the missions. I kid you not. It's like I like to do the missions in the harbor and just beat down on some poor old freaking builder guy, the standard builder guy, and just keep racking up points to get more money. The pain of knocking the guy off with a kick or some punch off the stage when you're not even at your goal is so infuriating. It's kind of like that for me. Because it's like you do all that work and then you fuck up towards the end, or some controller bugs out, or some guy like takes a controller to be a jack off.
That's very frustrating.
Yes, I can imagine.
Yeah,
so
I feel your pain, Wade.
Yeah. So how did you discover CAW, each of you, and what was the first CAW league you watched? James, again, I'll start with you because I have a sneaking suspicion that the answer to both questions is the same.
No DQ and Slam and Jam, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, probably. I started getting into it. So Mike, who was just on this call accidentally, actually introduced me to No DQ CAW. So I found out about this, and wait, this will be an interesting story. We were in freaking middle school when we discovered your CAW league.
So that would have been about 2003 or 4.
No, this would have been like... It wasn't that short. I think it was like 2006-ish. So this is like, I think, when Aaron Rift kind of took the ball with No DQ. But we went back in the history, and I discovered Slam and Jam by proxy in 08. I think right around the time No DQ ended. But I watched the Slam and Jam No DQ special. I forget what the name of the show off the top of my head, but it had dope Die MF as the theme song, which, great choice, by the way, Wade. So I was like, I watched it, and I was just kind of captivated myself, and I'm like, this is freaking cool. I'd love to do something like this. And then, we were like... It's kind of a sad story in a way, too, because I think right around the time we discovered it just stopped. And so we kept refreshing the feed, hoping that a new episode would launch as kids. It was great. We discovered things. We were late bloomers, Wade.
It's all good, man. I think we all are with a lot of things that come around. I was a late bloomer on the show Breaking Bad. I got into it during the last season.
I still have not watched Breaking Bad, but everybody tells me I should.
I would recommend it. It's a good series.
I'm gonna watch it.
Better Call Saul, I think, is a better one. But
I've heard a lot of people say Better Call Saul is better.
I'm more prone to the Saul Goodman character than anything. The whole hybrid of the real guy Jimmy McGill and then the character Saul Goodman is almost kind of like me and then Bobby Spade. So I think I relate to it more.
Well, that explains a lot.
Yeah, it does explain a lot.
Yeah. So Wade, how did you discover CAW?
I'm curious on yours.
How did I discover CAW? Well, it was towards the end of January 2004. I went over to NoDQ.com. I was a contributor to their website for 2 years prior to that, back when they were the Mayhem. And I wrote.
Wow, that's going back some.
Oh yeah, I've been writing columns for various wrestling websites since 2000. But WrestleZone, the Mayhem, Three Strand Wrestling, a lot of those, ProWrestling.net, Raja, all of them.
That's crazy.
And I remember Aaron Rift had a music video that he had produced with a Jason Voorhees CAW where he was chasing guys around the ring. And I saw that video and I was like, wow, that is cool, man. And I got to think, I was like, because especially at that time in my ultimate arrogance, I was like, you know what? I'm going to one-up this motherfucker. I'm going to create a wrestling show. So I wrote down like a card and I put together a whole entire wrestling show with the entrances, music, all that stuff, man. And I didn't know like the technology, right? So I had a webcam in front of my TV and darkened my room as much as I could and just recorded it that way and put it together in Movie Maker. And I put it out there. And then Rift saw it. And Rift was like, dude, you should go to Circus City or something. Which I don't even know if anybody out there even remembers Circuit City.
But I do. I'm 30. I remember Circuit City.
All right, cool. Circuit City was the fucking place to be back in the day.
Circuit City, Funko-Land, Discovery Zone. Dude.
Yeah.
That was my friggin' jam.
You know what the sad part is? You could probably add Radio Shack to that list, too.
Oh,
yeah.
Radio Shack was cool as fuck as another kid growing up.
Agreed. I actually got... Right before they went out of business, my current Logitech webcam mic I actually got from Radio Shack on a discount.
Oh, nice. I remember when I was like 7 or 8 years old. This was 89 or 1990. I went into a Radio Shack and I saw they had this huge freaking science kit that had like LEDs on it. It had all kinds of different things where you can like plug in like diodes and all that. And just like there was like 250 different things you can make with this little board. And nice. I saw that you were able to make like a radio with it. And I was, from then on, that was the moment I was like, dude, I got to do something with radio.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now you're basically a podcaster.
And funnily enough, I believe that was also James's major of choice when he went to college.
Well, communications more so, but yes.
Same here.
Yeah, he's hoping to leverage it into some format of radio job.
But there you go.
Right on, man. Put your mind to it. You can do anything,
So-
bro. I didn't think I'd be able to do anything in school, right? Like growing up, doing things in school, I was horrible at it. Before I had my back surgery, my GPA in high school was a 1.9. And I didn't apply myself. I just wanted to do backyard wrestling, hang out with my friends, do all that stuff. I went in for my back surgery. I came out of it. Long story with all that stuff. The whole another time for that. But I felt sorry for myself for a decade, pretty much up until about 2010. I said, you know what? I want to go to school. I went to school, and at first I was going for business administration. Almost finished it. Changed it to multimedia. Got an associate's in that. Changed it to communications. I transferred over to Cal State San Bernardino. Finished that out in 2018 with a bachelor's degree, with a GPA of 3.5, and I was inducted into 2 honor societies.
There you
So,
go.
Fucking nice, dude.
Trust me, you put your mind to anything you want, you can accomplish it, bro.
Yep.
It may have taken you 25 years, but dude, what a fucking turnaround!
I will
It's-
say,
you know
I
what?
will,
It's
I will
funny.
say, to add to your point, coming from a person who has full-blown autism, who also has a bachelor's degree, it is possible, people. Wade is not bullshitting there. Deadass.
Absolutely, man. You just apply yourself, and it takes people longer. It took me, 10 years to get out of my funk, and then 10 years to accomplish it. But I have an associate's degree in multimedia, in liberal arts, and business administration. I have a bachelor's in communications, and I'm just finishing up, or about halfway through my second year of pre-law right now as a paralegal.
You are loaded with the degrees. I need to be like you. I need to get my degrees on. I only got 1 degree in communications. I gotta venture out.
Well, I mean, hey, even 1 degree looks good on a resume, but
That's true.
It's amazing what you can accomplish too when you actually want to do something. Because back in the day, I didn't want to be in school, but now I do. It feels weird when I had spring break this last week, and it just felt really weird not doing anything. But it also felt good because I was able to take care of myself, from a health standpoint.
which
Yeah,
is
that's fair.
always a plus.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always a plus. Anyway, you were saying something about Caddyshack. We kind of went on a tangent there.
Caddyshack.
Yeah, Aaron Riff told you to go to Caddyshack or something to.
Oh,
get the
yes, Circuit City. Yeah. He told me to go there to get a capture card.
Caddyshack.
instead of
Is that what I
using-
said? Caddyshack.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, what? Are we gonna have some baby roots or what?
Oops. Well, this is wrestling with idiocy. My
Yeah,
apologies.
that's
There's a
also
reason for
the
that.
tism coming out. So
Yeah, my bad.
Ironically,
all right.
because I actually watched Caddyshack a couple nights ago. I love that movie.
It is a good movie.
I love it when
Anyway.
the guy goes, I want a hot dog, I want a hamburger, and the old man's like, you'll get nothing to like it.
My dad uses that line to this day. Anyway.
God love Bill Murray. Anyway, you were saying?
Oh, and Rodney Dangerfield too. Oh my god, I miss that guy so much.
Fucking, I miss
No.
Roddy Dangerfield.
He goes up,
bro.
he looks at that guy's wife, and he goes, "Oh, I bet she was something before electricity."
Oh my god.
That was the line.
Ronnie Dangerfield is a goat, bro.
One of my
Absolutely.
favorite lines of
Goat.
his is from Back to School when he goes, "The best thing about dating a teacher is you do something wrong, they make you do it all over again."
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh Lord.
Love
God
it.
love that, man.
Anyway.
Anyway,
Circuit
so anyway, Aaron told you to get a capture card, and you're like, "What the fuck's a capture card?"
Yeah. So I was like, looked at it too. I was like, man, $100, really? Like, I'm not really spend $100 on like a little hobby like this. Oh, okay. I did, and best suggestion ever made right there was getting that because it just upped my game big time.
And now you have a series that is still pretty much revered by CAW content creators to this day.
I am very amazed. Like, I can go on Twitch and like I'll be playing Red Dead and somebody would pop in and be like, "Yo, man, do you remember that line you said during the Freddy Krueger match in like May
Which one?
whatever 2009?" Or I'm like, "No, I don't remember that line."
I know exactly how that feels because there will be friends of mine that will come up to me and is like, "Hey, yo, you remember when you said this?" And I'll literally look at them straight face and I'll just be like, "Not a fucking clue do I remember that. I just wing it, dude." Like, it's been too long. Like, and I've only been, mine was only a couple years ago, my big one, so it's like I don't know I don't think about it. I think we kind of just do it. We just kind of free flow.
Yeah, because I could do commentary like right now, and like 5 minutes afterwards, if you guys ask me about what I said, I probably won't remember it because I get in the game so much.
Yep. Same here.
That happens to us. That absolutely happens to us.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is part 1 of the Wade Needham extravaganza here on Wrestling with Idiocy. Being interviewed by Casey has been a blast. Casey had some really damn good questions, and if you like what Casey does here, please do us a favor, hit that subscribe button down below for Luke Lynch content, along with that notification bell, because you will always be notified when we upload. That includes watch-alongs, Wrestling with Idiocies, this podcast in particular. You will also get an adventure of Luke Lynch every once in a while, and a debuting Button Mashers Let's Play series. So be on the lookout for all of that here, all a part of the umbrella of FTW Productions. And until then, here are some ads, because this is different. Check it out.
Do you think you have what it takes to cut the greatest promo in professional wrestling history? Step through the ropes, pick a gimmick, and know your role. The Ring Scoops Wrestling card game is the ultimate pro wrestling fan party game. Draw cards at random, use your creativity, and cut a promo on your opponent while the audience cheers. The Ring Scoops card game.
Available now.
A table from hell with the Psycho Asylum. An Iron Man match of factorial proportions. Man
In this fight, I will melt you down to slag.
versus machine.
I calculate a 0.85% chance that you will win in your current condition.
Full Metal Mayhem. Colleen Horizon.
When you throw me into the wolves, I will return leading the pack.
Vera McGarden.
I'll do anything to be the warrior on top.
For the Athena title. Best friends turned bitter rivals. Johnny Star.
Don't get in the way of the star or you'll get burned.
James, the Archangel.
I'm the real star of this brand.
For the international title. The Outsider, Mark Young. The Executioner, Michael X. For the WYW World Heavyweight title. 2 out of 3 fall.
Inside.
In a hell in a cell. WYW Immortal. Now available on YouTube.
Speaking of what happens to us, keep hitting us with the questions, Case.
Okay. So, next question. What made each of you want to form your own CAW? Wade, I'll start with you.
Oh yeah, I gotta know this. I mean, we already I think we kinda already know. This is kind of a two-parter.
A CAW or a CW League?
That either or. But in this context, I'm specifically talking about League.
Yeah, show, I guess.
Well, I mean, like I said before, I saw the music video from Rift, and I was like, I'm gonna one-up the motherfucker, because that's the way I was back then.
There you go.
I mean, I'm way more laid back now than I was 15, 20 years ago, though.
That is
I was
fair.
the asshole.
You were a fucking wild. You were wild back in the day. And
I was
like, in a good way.
Huge asshole that took things way too serious back then.
Sure, dude. I'll tell you. See, here's the thing, and not that it excuses it, because I've had the same problem. So I've tried to be better at trying to put myself back. But when you are creating like some form of art, I don't know if that's what we can call our things, but like some form of art, right? Like it's videography, and we're doing a production of sorts. You naturally do take it seriously, and like sometimes the worst of you comes out of it because you become like this perfectionist and you want everything like done this way and that way and all that stuff.
Wade, I can speak to this during the recording of some of our matches. Fuck me.
Yeah, like I feel your pain in that regard, which is why I've tried to take a step back, because I realize like I don't want to like go too far into looking like a complete asshole. Because I'm not trying to be that guy. But I understand to a degree, though. I'm not saying it's excusable, but like we're perfectionists. You know what I mean? So that's just naturally what happens.
Yeah.
I think for me though, I mean, and I can admit this because this was a huge fault of mine, especially way back then. I had a huge ego. Like, for some reason, I thought, thousands of people watch No DQ CAW, hear my voice, they recognize me. I'm an internet celebrity, and it went to my head, and I was just an asshole for it.
Really?
Yeah. No, I regret a lot of fucking behavior from 15, 20 years ago.
I wouldn't have known because, then again, I never met you back then. I wouldn't have known, to be quite honest. But, any interview I ever saw of you, we were, nothing but kind. You were always doing the Bobby Spade impression. You were nothing but a nice guy. So, that's news to me.
Well,
but, hey.
I mean, we are our own worst critics anyway, right?
Yeah.
That is true.
It is. I have heard it said, bro. I have heard it said that the secret to success is to simultaneously be your own harshest critic and biggest fan, and that is not an easy spot to get to.
Oh.
Trust me, I was once my biggest fan.
I was once my biggest fan. Now I hate myself. Same. Oh, man. Anyway.
So, James.
So much I beat myself every night. Wait a minute.
Whoa. Getting a little too real here. Whoa. Anyway, Casey, as you were saying, sorry.
Your turn to answer. What made you want to form your own CAW league?
Well, I mean, I already said part of the inspiration was No DQ. Just captivated at how well Wade did it and how well Aaron also kind of did it, because you guys kind of both did it in a way. More so Wade. But, I just loved No DQ. And that was part of the inspiration. The other part of the inspiration was kind of a thing, we always wanted to do our own CAW league because of what we saw with No DQ. But we were doing podcasting, way back when we were in, I think, junior high. I think it was, some really bad title. I mean, New Generation or some crap like that. I don't know. My titling has gotten a lot better as I've grown with age, but
Pro Wrestling Roundtable.
Yeah, don't remind me. So we're doing one of those cringy shows, but we actually had decent points back then. Where the product in WWE we felt like was in a downturn, creatively. Lo and behold, nothing's changed. If anything, it's gotten worse in some regards. But we were kind of critiquing in a way. And there was one comment where they said, I bet you can't run your own wrestling promotion for 5 minutes. And that's all she wrote. At that point, I was like, oh yeah, motherfucker? Watch me. Watch me. And yeah, the rest is history. It was kind of one thing led to another, and I think what really inspired me at the end of it was just seeing how much fun everybody had voice acting the characters and playing the game, and just seeing smiles on face. That to me kind of sealed the deal for me that we were going to do this.
Take it from a guy who's done both. When everything is going well, especially in regards to playing the game, it is absolutely one of the most fun things I've ever done. And recording voice lines, especially when I'm cutting promos. Wade, if you don't already know, James and I voice about 1/8 of the show between us. Mike, who was on earlier, probably voices a little over half of the show.
Something
nice.
Of that ridiculous nature, yeah.
But I am the voice of the outsider Mark Young, among others, and Mark Young is the top heel in the whole show in Weymouth Youth Wrestling. And when I get to cut a particularly scathing heel promo against somebody, my biggest examples are against Sean Maverick at Gold Rush and Michael X at Immortal. It is therapeutic and cathartic in a way that I cannot even put into words that I really can't even describe unless you've done it in and of yourself and you know what that feels like. Wade, I would imagine you've played a heel or two in your time as under No DQ, so you probably have an idea of what that's like.
Well, the whole Bobby Spade character.
Yeah, exactly. And Bobby Speed is iconic. Absolutely.
Bobby Speed? Is he the...
Spade. You would think he's on
Bobby
Speed.
Speed? Is he the friggin' Cut protagonist of GTA 3?
No, but pretty damn close. No, I'm kidding.
You know what the biggest inspiration behind the Bobby Spade character was?
Go ahead.
This is gonna flip everyone's minds. You guys, I don't even know if you guys will even know who I'm talking about here, but the Jerky Boys.
Oh my god, it makes so much sense.
I'm not familiar with the Jerky Boys.
These two guys from Brooklyn and the Bronx and New York and Queens and all that stuff. They did prank phone calls in the late 80s, early 90s. And,
so they were crank anchors before crank anchors.
These guys were the original. I mean, all right,
They're
check this out. This guy, one of the Jerky Boys, his name is Jamal. He has this character that he does called Tarbosh, the Egyptian magician. And it's great. Like, there's this one bit, I remember this like it was yesterday, man. He calls up this lady, and he's like, "Hello, this is Tarbosh, the Egyptian magician, and I wanted to book for your children's birthday party. I have a lion that I feed to my audience, and I punch my stomach and it disappeared."
You know what the funny thing is? Onich Pranks actually mentioned them, which blew my mind. I'm like, wow, his inspiration was them. That's insane.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
The character that they did, though, that was like the biggest inspiration for doing Bobby Spade was their Frank Rizzo character, because they'd call up places and be like, "Hey, yo, this is Frank Rizzo. Open your fucking ears, jackass. Come on, you fucking fruity ass, you fucking piece of shit motherfuckers." You know, it's like, I took that and I was like, dude, if I can like shape that into like a Bobby Heenan kind of thing. And when I did that, that's how we got the name Bobby Spade. It's half Bobby Heenan, half David Spade.
Yes, you're not
Seeing and catching are two different things, a big boy.
Yeah, that's fair. True. That's true.
That's why I used to throw a lot of Jerky Boy insults at myself as Bobby Spade. You know, like what I call, as Bobby Spade. And hey, shut up there, beefy tits. Let me call the action here. Come on, squeaky balls.
I think I found a line from Mark Young.
That's tremendous.
That's
Absolutely
great.
Tremendous.
That's amazing.
It's always fun making fun of that fat ass, that fucking fruity ass motherfucker, you know?
Hey, yo, let me fucking get in on that too. I got some people I gotta poke fun at. You got room for an outsider in there, Bobby?
Yeah, you come on over here. They give us the Mulu guy, we give them the Mulu guy right back, huh? Well, you know what we'll do? We'll take the old ladies out on a night on the town, paint it white, and stick it to the mufflers, huh?
If you catch my drift.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, the heel collaboration you never knew you wanted.
Well, I'm gonna jot that down in my notes for a second. Give me like 2 seconds here.
A couple of clowns we are, like Sparky the Clown,
Oh, fuck Sparky. Sparky wishes he was a clown. We're Bozo and frickin' John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah. Don't forget Mario. I know like 20 different Marios in the neighborhood,
Do any of them wear red overalls and jump really fucking high?
I don't know, but they run around with a pipe in their pocket all the time.
Is that a pipe in their pocket, or are they just happy to see you?
Hey, he eats so much, he's got a turtle head poking.
Oh, man! This is by far the best podcast I think I've ever done, ever. It's official. It's official. Anyway.
Oh, man, that was a gem. Thank you, Wade.
So why did the two conjoined twins go to Europe?
Because where the fuck else are they going to go?
So the other one can drive.
That's also fair. That is also fair.
Holy Nikes, bro.
You're a family human there for everyone.
There you go. Anyway, Casey, next question.
Wade, you got time for one more?
Hey, you know what though? Hey, Bobby Spade's got one last thing to say before Bobby Spade's got to take a shit. Hey, I was over at the AT&T store the other day, right? And I go in there with my little flip phone, and I said, I need a new phone. And so the guy comes up to me and he says, "Mr. Spade, we got a BlackBerry for you, right?" And I said, "The BlackBerry?" He goes, "Yeah, BlackBerry's a nice little phone. It's got a keyboard attached to it and everything." I said, "BlackBerry? No, you got me all wrong, okay? Okay? Because the only thing black I want is a big fat ass, and the only thing buried is my face in that fat ass.
Nice.
Oh, that's great.
One. That's a good one. Damn.
Fucking great.
Bobby Spade, ladies and gentlemen. Yay. Tremendous. All right, Casey, next question.
Wade, you think you got time for one more?
Yeah, let's go for two more.
All right, cool.
Let's go for two more.
So, my biggest, this is actually one I just thought of while we were talking that I can ask both of you. When creating a CAW league, what factors drive the selection of the people on the roster? James, I'll start with you.
I'm actually going to pass it to Wade because I think him and I... Because his show and my show are very different in a lot of respects, but I'm curious on Wade's thing.
What's the deciding factors that goes into who I'd choose for my roster?
Yeah, who you choose for the roster, and more specifically, what roles they play in the show. Like, how do you decide
what the layout is?
Yeah, like how do you decide who's face, who's heel, what their rivalries are going to be? How does that work?
Well, I would say probably 80% of my roster is just people that I want, people that I like, characters that I've liked, cartoon characters, celebrities, comedians,
mascots,
TV characters, stuff like that. The other 20% is probably either a mix of like if somebody has a suggestion, they're like, "Hey, I'd love to see this CAW," or if it's something trending. I always try to do my own shows just to make myself laugh, really, to be honest.
That's fair.
Pretty much the whole reason behind WIW.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if somebody, like in the chats or anything like that is like, "Yo, I'd love to see this character," or maybe, this feud would be kind of cool. I mean, I take it into consideration. I've brought people in. There was a couple years ago, there was somebody in the chat that was just really like, "Dude, I want to see Buzz Lightyear." And it got to the point where like a couple people jumped in. We're like, "Yeah, man, Buzz Lightyear." So I made Buzz Lightyear, and because I knew how many people wanted it, I shot him to the moon, man. I gave him a good old push and everything. And so
this is was this no DQ or Slam and Jam? I feel like this would be a Slam and Jam thing, no?
Oh yeah, Slam and Jam. With no DQ, I never really booked anything in no DQ. That was all Rift.
That was all Rift.
Yeah, I did commentary. There may have been like maybe a small handful of suggestions I threw out there over the years. The most recent run of no DQ CAW, the 2019 Cup, that was on 2K19. That was all me. I shot an idea to Rift. I was like, "Dude, I want to bring it back," and he's like, "Well, I don't know. I would feel kind of weird, somebody doing my brand," and I'm like, "Well, I mean, if you got suggestions, obviously let me know. I'm not going to do anything that you're not comfortable stamping your own name onto it. If anything, if you're not comfortable with it at all, I'll just brand it to Slam and Jam." You know what I mean? And so we worked some stuff out. We did a tournament. He chose the participants. He chose the winners. But everything else, as far as like how the matches went, how long they were, what kind of styles that would go into each match, the stories telling, all that stuff, I did that myself. But other than that, I mean, no DQ was definitely ran by Rift. Slam and Jam was all mine.
So yeah, I knew Slam and Jam was yours. I just didn't know if you had a hand in doing it, because I didn't know if you did a lot of the editing or if that was just more Aaron Rift editing, or how did that kind of work?
Definitely with editing and no DQ, I did not do any of that.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, that was all Rift.
Well, Rift is a good editor. I will give him that.
I remember
especially for that time period.
I remember he did no DQ CW on Windows Movie Maker from the launch of no DQ CW all the way up until September 2004. He had gotten a new Mac computer with Final Cut, and that's when he jumped to that, because I think they had done a documentary or a little video thing about how Velocity, remember that show? That was completely edited on Final Cut.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and Riff got a Mac computer and Final Cut because he thought...
That is news to me.
Yeah, he thought, if WWE's doing stuff on that, then he should be doing stuff on that. And he did phenomenal work.
So then he went Mac and never looked back.
That's fair.
Kind of, yeah.
I actually, that's a funny thing. I've never used a Mac in my life, so maybe I got to get involved into doing some Mac stuff.
It's when I started out on a Mac, like way back in the day when I was in school. We were on Mac computers, but we had the big 5.25 inch floppy disks.
I remember
we
those.
play like Oregon Trail on them and crap like that. Right. And we had those in school. And then I think it was, God, how old was I? Like 11, I think. My mom bought a used computer from one of her coworkers. It was a Mac Performa. Wow. And I loved that computer.
Old school computer. That's a old school Mac.
Very, very old school. Yeah. I think it had Mac OS like 7 on it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That is going back some.
It was cool as shit, though. I did a lot of...
I mean, I'd imagine it was running really good. I remember back then they were the best operating system. Now it's kind of like neck and neck because everybody kind of collaborates together in the tech world. So.
In some form or another, yeah.
And I had that computer before internet, too. I didn't have internet until...
Wow.
The first time I ever got the internet, I was in the hospital after my back surgery in 1999. My dad went to Circus City and got me a laptop. And connected it to the phone line there in the hospital and started pounding away at the keyboard and learned HTML myself, how to code stuff, put together my first website by the end of 99. And that's when Ring Scoop started, was February 12th, 2000.
Wow, really? It goes that long? That's insane. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've been doing podcasting since before the iPod.
Well, there you go.
There you go, indeed.
Yeah, we used to put WAV files up on GeoCities.
Oh, I still use WAV files. I don't even use MP3, mainly because just convenience. I don't know how to work it on Audacity. But there you go.
So James, your turn.
Yeah. So as I said, I figured it would be much different considering what Wade did for Slam and Jam and No DQ. For me, Weymouth Youth Wrestling is a lot different. Right now, this is kind of the mixed bag we got going on.
It's mostly friends of ours.
Yeah, it's mostly friends of ours. And there are other characters that will just be completely created out of whim, based on some form of video game characters, or it will be... actual wrestlers that we think are really cool that would actually benefit to the roster that aren't necessarily a big name but have a big enough presence that could actually add to our show.
Perfect example.
And then,
they got Taka Michinoku.
Taka Michinoku, yeah. Big light heavyweight champion boy right there. Big boy. Love that guy.
I love Taka.
Taka's
Who
amazing.
Taka's
incredible.
Is so underrated and should have been used so much better everywhere he went, and
agreed.
One of the kind of
absolutely agreed.
We kind of actually, it's funny because, and I'm not even saying this to brag. I feel like we use Taka the best because nobody else understood the level of a technician that Taka was, because everybody else just used him as a joke. But he's a really, really amazing wrestler.
He's incredible.
People use his Michinoku driver to this day.
Yeah.
So I love Taka. But
I remember when Taka had that match with the Great Sasuke at Canadian Stampede back in '97.
God, what a match that was!
At that time, when they signed Taka and didn't sign Great Sasuke, at that time I was like 13, going on 14. I was like, they're out of their minds, man. What's this Great Sasuke is amazing. I look back and like, with all due respect to Great Sasuke, fucking excellent performer.
Yeah.
I think they made the right decision because Taka was awesome.
Those of us who came to know him through the world of video games will probably remember him best as simply Black Ninja from WCW NWO World Tour.
Yeah, which actually brings me to the next point. This might actually be news to you, Case. But the next little hybrid that we're going to put in our show is actually going to be members from the WCW and NWO World Tour roster that were creating characters. So Hanzo Man is going to be one of them. I won't say when, but he will make an appearance. So
sweet.
we're just doing. I think we have a really good like layout of what we want our show to be. We want it to be full of unique and diverse kind of characters that we can either voice act or get somebody to voice act and just have a feel of a true professional wrestling show. Add the ads in there, custom ads, actual ads, emulate an actual professional wrestling show, and just release it on the wild and see what people think. And you know,
so far the feedback has been pretty positive.
Dude, it blows my mind to this day that you, of all people, Wade, actually saw clips of our show and actually gave us props. That's when I knew, like, okay, you know what?
We got something here.
We got something. Because, like, you know, you're pretty much the godfather of this kind of genre, if you want to call CAW a genre. So
I wouldn't say that about myself, but no, I recognize hard work and the product that you guys put out there. You can definitely tell that you guys don't like. All right, I don't mean this in the way it's going to sound, but you guys don't play around. You guys don't joke around. Like, I know you guys probably put out some jokes, but like,
right, yeah.
As far as the quality of product you guys put out there, you guys take it
absolutely number one priority.
Yeah, you guys take it serious. You guys, you guys put out a certain quality of product, and I saw that, and I was like, wow, these guys are doing some good shit.
Dude,
that means a lot coming from you, brother. Thank you.
That means the world more than you can even know, because like, I did not ever expect that I would hear that, but that's awesome to me.
It's very awesome to hear.
I agree with that.
Now, I do have one last question for the both of you before we call it quits here. But James, really quick, I have a question specifically for you because I don't think it was really answered. Most people who watch WIW are at some level aware that most if not all of the roster is friends of ours or people we know in some form or another.
Right.
What led to that decision? What made you decide to make a CAW roster out of your friend group and not try and create like actual, like, I don't want to say actual wrestlers, but you know what I mean, already actual people that exist in the world of professional wrestling and have them go at it that way?
It's interesting you say that or ask that question, and this is going to probably be a breaking news thing to Wade, right? So, we had every intention before WYW of bringing back No DQ CAW. We were actually making a No DQ CAW roster. Now, we were trying to contact Aaron Riff before we even did this, and I didn't know where you were at the time on social media because I was still kind of fledgling to it. So I'll give the rundown of how this kind of happened and how it just completely fell apart. The idea was we were going to bring in the OGs of No DQ CAW. So,
Link,
your
Mr. Clean, Black Suit Spider-Man, etc.
Yeah, well, not Black Suit Spider-Man, just OG Spider-Man. But yeah, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, Mario, Luigi,
etc.
Mr. Clean, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, all the
Which, by the way, real quick, Wade, can I just say I love the fact that you turned Mr. Clean into the dirtiest player in the game.
That was such a unique idea.
That's no,
that wasn't even him. That might have been an Aaron Riff creation.
No. I know. I'm just saying that No DQ in general did this, and that to me is a genius piece of booking.
That is, I agree. By the way,
he likes to fight clean, but sometimes he's got to fight dirty.
Damn right.
Although he always fights dirty.
Yeah.
But yeah,
anyway,
we were doing that roster. We were doing that whole roster, and then we were going to add characters that we knew would absolutely 110% fit into that roster. So we were going to add characters that had never been seen before in the series. So Bane, we were going to add Duke Nukem to it, Johnny Cage, fucking Goku. We were gonna bring in. We were gonna load this roster. It was gonna be nuts. And then the Red Ring of Death happened, right when we got to the 50th character, and that pissed me off so bad because you had no idea. Because we had everything ready, and then the console just shit the bed. And so WIW was actually remnants of an attempted No DQ CAW relaunch, believe it or not. because we were trying to contact Aaron to actually bring back No DQ way before you actually talked to him. And I was trying to get him involved, and we have to have Wade and all this stuff, and he's like, yeah, we'll just show me your roster, and we'll see what you think. I don't know if he even remembers this. He probably doesn't, but that was the initial plan.
I remember 2 or 3 people making comments at certain times on YouTube saying, Aaron, let me bring back No DQ CAW. Or I think when I did the tournament, I think it might have been one of you guys that made a comment and said, "Oh man, we were going to bring back No DQ."
Well,
CAW.
if it was one of us, it probably would have been James, because I didn't come into the CAW scene until 2017. So
that would have been me, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, this was like a year and a half ago. This is like 2019.
Yeah, that would have been when we could still socialize and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah. Good shit. All right. Last question before I let you gentlemen go for the night. What made you decide on what led you to pick the games that you selected as the engines for your respective CAW leagues? Wade, I'll start with you. You had Day of Reckoning, and there may have been another thing.
WrestleMania 19.
Okay, thank you. Now, was one for No DQ and the other for Slam Jam, or was there?
Well, so I think for Wade, Slam and Jam was correct me if I'm wrong, Wade. I could be completely way off here, but anything for Xbox, right? Or was it PlayStation? I forget the game it was for PlayStation, if it was.
For me, it was PlayStation 2, Here Comes the Pain.
There you go. Right. Yeah. So it was for Slam and Jam, it was Here Comes the Pain. For Rift, it would have been WrestleMania 19 and Day of Reckoning hybrid.
Okay.
In a sense.
So Wade, what led you to choose Here Comes the Pain to run, if you will, Slam-A-Jam as its engine?
It was the PlayStation 2 was the only console I had.
There you go.
I mean, I kind of had to go with my resources, right? I mean, I don't
Hold on. Let me make this easier for Casey there, Wade. Casey, guess why I use WWE 2K14?
All you got?
That's all I got. The Xbox 360 is the only console I had, or had at the time. I have more consoles now, but
yeah.
There you go.
well, I mean, you've also experienced some of these other wrestling games in the past. I mean, you obviously grew up playing Day of Reckoning and WrestleMania 19.
I mean, yeah, of course.
Had you had the choice, would you have still went with 2K14?
Yes.
Okay.
For me, I absolutely would have still stuck with 2K14. I would use... this is me, and I don't know how Wade feels about this, but I've mentioned this before. I would have used the newer 2K games if they weren't so problematic and glitchy. Like, don't get me wrong, we've dealt with some jank titles. I'm sure Wade can attest. We've had janky games, right? But it was back in the day, Nowadays, it's like things gotta be a little bit smooth. They don't have to be like super perfect or anything, but like something about the new 2K games just feels so slow, and the gameplay is just wonky. I don't like the 2K20 or even beyond that post 14. I don't like their gameplay style where everything feels like a Randy Orton style match. That's honestly how it feels. That's honestly what I feel like I'm playing half the time. Now, a lot of the moves that they have added since, I would totally, if I could find a way to ROM hack 2K14, I'd absolutely put every single move into that disc, but I don't know how to hack it, so there you go. But, no, I would still stick with 2K14 wholeheartedly, to be honest. But, Wade, what about you? We'll kind of throw that question back at you. Would you have used SmackDown Here Comes the Pain still if given the choice, or would you use like a higher end console?
I don't know. I probably would have stuck with what I knew. Growing up, I had a Nintendo, I had a Super Nintendo, when the Super Nintendo broke, we'd go to the rental store all the time. You can rent either a Nintendo 64 or a PlayStation. N64 was always rented out, so by default, I was like, all right, I guess we'll rent the PlayStation. I kept telling my mom and dad, Christmas of like 97, I was like, I want a Nintendo 64. They got me a PlayStation. I said, why'd you guys give me this? I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not trying to be ungrateful. I'm happy. Thank you so much for a new console, but why this? And they're like, well, you always rented it. I'm like, it was the only one available. So, through high school, I was a PlayStation guy, right? So,
not by choice either.
No, but I mean, they had some good games on there. Final Fantasy VII.
I love playing Siphon Filter.
That's true.
I was never into those kind of games, but I would tell you this: that when I played Final Fantasy VII, I was hooked. I was like, man, this is amazing.
And I'm sure looking at Tifa didn't hurt.
Oh man, but then as I got older and I got my own income and all that kind of stuff, I was like, all right, am I going to get a GameCube or am I going to get a PS2? And then they were like, all right, GTA 3 is coming out. It's going to be on PS2. And I was like, now that looks like a badass game. So I got a PS2 and got that with Gran Turismo. I was a big Gran Turismo mark.
Oh, GTA 3, yes, my man.
Yeah. So
now, were you an A spec or a B spec guy?
A what?
There's two different versions of Gran Turismo. One's A spec where you get to drive, and the other's B spec where I believe you get to manage.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because on 2 is 2 disc, and one was arcade edition, and one was the simulation.
Yes.
If I wanted to play a quick game, I'd play the arcade one, but I was more of the simulated one. I like to earn my money, get my car, build it up the way I wanted to.
Yep.
Always got the Mitsubishi Eclipse and just duked it out.
Yeah, good man.
Yeah.
Good man.
Good shout.
I remember the first time I ever, and this is gonna be weird to fucking think about this because it's fucking like I don't know how this is even possible. The first time I ever played a Nintendo 64 was at the very end of 2001.
Right when the freaking GameCube came out.
Yeah, I remember like I went to Kmart and I bought one. They had them for like $99 and I was like, fuck, that's it's a good deal. I got that with Ocarina of Time and I started playing it and I'm like, it sucks because if I would have jumped from Super Nintendo to Nintendo 64,
you would have been hooked right then and there.
Yeah, there would have been no gap, right? Like you go from Super Nintendo to PS1 and PS2 and then try to go backwards. It's weird. Holding that Nintendo 64 controller, I'm like, how do I hold it? Like, what the fuck is this,
Yeah, because like when you start with a Nintendo console of any kind, typically you're able to play any other game feels like child's play, or any other console feels like child's play. Like
I did grow up. And I did grow up with an N64, so I can attest to this.
Well, on top of that, too, playing Ocarina of Time, the first 3D Zelda game, I'm like, what the fuck did they do to Zelda? I was like, I can't move this character around the way I want to move him around. It was tough. I gave up on it, and I sold it to a friend of mine like a week later. I was like, fuck Nintendo. They lost me. So then that's like, I think that was another deciding factor in like, PS2 or fucking GameCube. And I was like, well, Gran Turismo, GTA, PlayStation, they got the boxing games too. I like those.
Oh, Fight Night 2004, dude. That was my friggin' jam.
Oh, I love the Fight Night. I wish they'd make them.
Fight Night Champions is one of the best boxing simulator games I've ever played in my life. I don't know if anybody's played that version of it. Love Fight Night Champions.
I'm addicted to Creed on the Oculus Quest 2.
That's nice.
That's a workout. Like that's a fucking for real physical workout, bro.
There you go. It's, right along the lines of Insanity Workout, right there.
I mean, not that crazy, but you get a cardio workout. You get like 3 or 4 fights, and especially if you like bump the difficulty up to like Legend, and you go up against a guy like Drago. Oh, dude, you're fighting for your life, man. You're dude, first time I played it, I didn't know I was that close to my desk, and I went to go throw an uppercut, and I threw it so hard, I fucking punched my fucking mic. because I had the mic arm and I didn't like push it back all the way, and I just went boom, and I was like, what the fuck was that? I took the headset off and I saw like my microphone was like flipped upside down somehow. I was like, what the fuck happened there?
Well, I mean, obviously, a Mike Tyson uppercut.
You obviously, you son of a bitch! I see what you did there.
Better than an Andrew Galata like uppercut.
That's fair. That's
right to the balls.
Or hey, it could be worse. You could be Logan Paul and just rabbit punch to the back of the head like an idiot.
Logan Paul, don't you get me started on that fucking guy.
Hey, what about
that dude ruined it for all of us little fucking YouTube creators, man.
That is true. Yeah. Although I will say I am glad that the guy who beat him is enjoying great success. Seems like a.
Tell you this, man. Hey, if the three of us ever get together, I want you guys to put that dude on the ground, and I'll pop a wheelie on his fucking throat.
Yeah, fair.
And I'll shit down his fucking neck.
That's a shoot, brother. That's a shoot. Shot. Freaking dude, legitimately. Yeah, I agree with you on that. But again, KSI, better human being, I think. KSI, though, I wonder if he actually used the game that you used. If you got such a workout and you were able to throw a Mike Tyson uppercut, who the hell's to say that KSI wasn't doing the same thing?
Right.
I mean, he certainly got the money. He certainly got the money for it.
Next week on Drama Alert, KSI is exposed for using this game to win his boxing matches. Is it illegal? Find out next time.
Or maybe he practiced like Turtle did on Entourage for the fight with Fight Night. He got knocked out by that little kid.
Maybe he just fought too much. Maybe he just fought the final boss and freaking Fight Night champions or something.
You guys ever seen that episode of Entourage though, when they played that prank on Turtle? Yeah, they told him they were going to do a piss test, and he went and he got somebody else to piss for him, and he tried to hand it to the guy, and he goes, "Nobody piss tests at a video game concert."
Classic.
Absolutely. Man.
Classic. Is there any other questions, Case, or we got part one in the bag here, you think?
We pretty much got part one in the bag here. We were promised an hour, a half hour, I should say, and we were given a little over an hour. I'd say that's more than enough generosity from Mr. Needham for the night.
I lost track of time. It is after 5. Fuck.
Yeah. If you want to keep going, we can keep going. If you don't, we don't have to keep going.
Unfortunately, guys, I do have to jet. I got to take care of some stuff.
All right, go.
That is fair.
I definitely appreciate you guys, letting me on the show.
Hey, we appreciate you coming on. Thanks a bunch.
Oh, dude, I'd love to come. Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, same.
And on that note, good night, everybody.
We'll see you for part 2.